Good evening, everyone. My name is Keith, and it's great to be with you here this evening. I've had the privilege of leading this awesome not-for-profit, Shiloh, for the last 10 years. And what I really love about Shiloh is that we get to engage and give hope, encouragement, and love to kids and youth in Edmonton and area who, in many cases, may never experience that. In a bit, I'll get to some of our program and program stuff that we do, but I wanted to start by saying that I believe in this generation. I know that they have a future, and I know that we play an important role in seeing that future happen. And as I was preparing for tonight and just thinking about Shiloh and so many other groups and agencies in our city, it really got me thinking. And so before I start kind of going into our programming, if I could just encourage you this evening and just give some thoughts of that. I think for a lot of us, we got into the not-for-profit or chose to dig in a little deeper to the specific cause that we're engaged in because of the work that they were doing, the good that we thought we could add, or you just happened to say yes when the organization was out of options. And that's how I feel at times. I became the ED for Shiloh. But regardless of how you came into the organization, you have a responsibility to help cause effective change. And this can be a scary realization, but there are too many people in our city and province that depend on that effective change. There's too much untapped potential. There's too many lives that are worth our effort. And while there's no doubt pressure, I want to be known at the end of my life for making a significant difference in those around me and leaving the world a better place. William Wilberforce stood before the British Parliament in 1789 and cried out for a day where men, women, and children would no longer be bought and sold like farm animals. And for the next 18 years, his bill was defeated, but he didn't stop fighting. His vision for the abolishment of slavery drove him, and finally in 1833, 4 days before his death, a bill was passed for the complete abolishment of slavery. 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and had a vision of a world without prejudice, hatred, or racism. He said in his speech, "I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." And in the face of extreme opposition, violence against him and his family, and up to his eventual assassination, he knew, along with Wilberforce, that they had a responsibility to cause effective change. And so why do we do this? Why do we fight? Why are you involved where you are now? I hope it's because you look into the eyes of someone that you work with and you know and recognize that they matter. I want to share a video with you this evening that'll give you a good visual for Shiloh and what we do, and so you can roll with that video.
Shiloh is a year-round Christian organization that supports kids and youth ages 7 to 18 living in high-risk and vulnerable situations. We offer summer camps in July and August with a variety of program options, evening campfires with live music and encouraging speakers. Here we have regular large group connection events, and our connection workers host weekly meetings with students. There is a significant need in our city and province for safe places for kids to learn, grow, and build relationships in a positive community. Many have found this safe place at Shiloh's camps and connection events. They become part of the Shiloh family, and for some, they feel genuine love and hope for the first time in their lives. Join us in providing hope for the next generation.
Awesome. So what makes Shiloh unique is a demographic of kids we deal with. Kids ages 7 to 17 that come from low-income families, from group homes and foster care. Between 50 to 60% of those in our program would be under government care or have a social worker as part of their life. And many who participate in our program have experienced trauma, sexual, physical, and emotional abuse, abandonment, and unbelievable heartbreak. We realize the challenges that can be had with this group of students, but they're worth fighting for and they are worth providing opportunities for. In the annual report for Children's Services in Alberta from April 1st, 2022 to March 31st, 2023, Alberta Children's Services completed 20,936 assessments, resulting in 3,528 new children and youth having an intervention file opened because their safety or well-being was at risk. Remember, those are just numbers reported. How many others, thousands, suffer in silence? On average, each month, 7,860 children and youth are in care, which means they're unable to return to their parents or guardians due to safety concerns. 84% of those are Indigenous children, and 11% were moved to a facility-based placement such as group home or treatment. Every month in our province. There's an organization that is province-wide called Align. I'm sure some are familiar with them. But they have over 100 member organizations and they represent 220,000 vulnerable children and youth every year in Alberta. So needless to say, there's a need, a significant need that exists in our province. And the group and the students that we get to work with and have the privilege of working with, see great potential in them. At Shiloh, as you saw in the video, we offer a summer camp which runs for 7 weeks through July and August at our property 45 minutes northeast of the city, where we have horses, basketball, bike, and adventure camps along with swimming, art, large group activities. And if you've grown up or gone to camp before, we have Tuck, which I wasn't familiar with Tuck before I started going to camp, but it's what we call the snack building. And I don't know why, but that's the way it is. We charge those in low-income situations $50 for the week, which includes your camp fees, meals, and transportation to and from the camp from Edmonton. And also for families that may have 2, 3, 4, or 5 kids and cannot afford the $50, we say pay what you can, as financial limitations are never a reason someone cannot experience summer camp. I signed my kids up. I have 3 kids for camp and 2 of them are going. And it was $450 per child. And so it's extremely expensive, and we know that in order for those to come, we've got to make it extremely affordable, and so that's for the $50. This summer, we're expecting 450 students from all over the province over those 7 weeks of camp. It'll take an army of around 80 to 90 volunteers and staff to ensure all who attend have the greatest week of their lives. If you think about your life and where you are today, I'm sure there were events, maybe even significant life-changing ones that happened to you that put you in the place you are today. Risks you took, people you knew, conversations you had that have helped shape the direction of your life. Now, in a room like this, or if you're watching online, I'm sure more times than not, those events and those decisions and those plans worked out in a positive way for you. But unfortunately, many in our city don't have those positive opportunities. This door is a perfect example. In July of 2023, we had over 50 13 to 15-year-olds attending a week of summer camp. And each night we have a campfire where we have live music, some funny skits and games, and a speaker that comes and shares some encouraging words that helps build the students up. And over the course of the week, the camp speaker was talking about hardships, pain, suffering, and forgiveness. He talked about his own experiences living at home with a single mom, absent father, and a lot of loneliness, which so many of those in attendance could relate to. He proceeded to talk about how our lives through situations and circumstances can take a beating. And he took a hammer and he started punching holes in the door. You can see that. How other actions of abuse, abandonment from a parent, or negative words can cause and create wounds and cause destruction. He then asked the students to share some of the words that people have spoken over them and wrote them on the door. And it's very hard to see, but some of the words were worthless, waste of space, weak, unwanted, useless, and accident. He then ended the week by painting the door white as a symbolic act of how surrounding yourself with people that care, or coming to our programs by trusting God and having at least one caring adult in your corner can help you move forward. It doesn't always fix the scars, as those words and actions don't just go away, but the negative effects and the trauma they cause can find a place to begin healing and find forgiveness. Where is the camp? Camp is 45 minutes from Edmonton. We have a bus that is in Millbourne that we pick kids up from, and then we have a bus in West Edmonton that we also get kids from and bring them out there and bring them back. And so we ensure that there's no barriers for them to get out to the camp property. Our Connections program is really about providing ongoing healthy and safe support system. While we do offer weekly programming and events, we want to help the kids in this program know that they are part of the Shiloh family, and we're available to them and their families as they need. Our follow-up program is completely free of charge, and we meet every week at Abbotsfield Rec Center. We also have monthly small groups. We have a horse small group program, and we offer different activities and opportunities to build life skills within the students. And of course, food at everything that we do. As you mentioned, dinner involved in all of our programs, knowing that that is such a critical piece to the demographic that we engage with. What's next? We are currently looking to expand our follow-up program, looking to purchase a building to continue to grow that program and to provide more than one night a week of programming. Our hope is to go 5 or 6 nights a week, and so we're currently fundraising for that and looking for a way to make that happen on the north side of the city, as we recognize a lot of our kids and youth come from that part of the city, and the need is great. You know, tonight I was asked to talk about programming for children and youth living in high-risk and vulnerable situations, which I think I've talked about, but the reality is that we can create great programs. We can create the best summer camp schedule, have the best horses. We can have professional basketball coaches for our basketball camps. We can have the best games at our drop-in programming with amazing visual effects. But if there's not a deep-seated care for people, it doesn't matter. We believe as a Christian organization that each life we have the opportunity to connect with through our programs matters to God, and so in turn matters to us and should be treated as valuable and worth our unconditional love and acceptance. Our faith compels us to make a lasting positive difference in this world regardless of someone's background, beliefs, or worldviews. We understand that our impact on a single life, standing in someone's corner, can change the direction and give them tools to make their life and future generations better. The importance we place on follow-up, and not just any follow-up, but good follow-up, cannot be overstated. One of our core values, which I take them all very seriously, I help write them, but this idea of unconditional love is one that means so much to me. And when I became a father, and now I have 3 younger kids, the meaning of unconditional love took on a whole different meaning. The easier part to what we do and what our organizations do is putting a program together. But where the rubber meets the road is our hearts toward those who we engage with within that program. If we do not love people, if we do not unconditionally love them through the hardships, through their chaos, through their trauma, then our programs mean very little. Programming for children and youth living in high-risk and vulnerable situations is about creating a safe space for them to engage with positive mentors, take risks, and find healing, and a place where they belong, and that's what we do at Shiloh. We will advocate for our children and youth by embracing diversity, by providing safe spaces and creating and supporting opportunities for all who show up that we care for. I want to say thank you for tonight, the opportunity to share a little bit about Shiloh and what we do, and go Oilers. Thank you.